We have Daft Punk's random. Sorry, we have Dawn FM by The Weeknd. 16 songs, 52 minutes long, and I kind of gave it away there because C's honestly gave it away there. Like the Weeknd did a lot of inspiration from Daft Punk's last record, Random Access Memories, in developing this follow up to After Hours, a Grammy snubbed but otherwise phenomenal R and B neo pop record. We loved it. We had a predisposition to criticize The Weeknd more heavily for, you know, his Starboy fuckboy era, his beauty behind the madness era and stuff. We liked him. We appreciated him.
Beauty behind the madness era. Yeah.
We liked him, we appreciated him, but there are aspects of it where it's just like, okay, Abel, you're just kind of being a fuckboy here, and that's fine.
Yeah,
but
in the words of Caesar from the We Made a Podcast, all he does is say curse words in like a falsetto.
Sing curse words in falsetto, pretty much. And After Hours is a lot of that, but it's what was a phenomenal record. And Dawn FM is shaping up to be another one of those not completing, but continuing a run that The Weeknd has had with just delivering a record you can just listen to and play. Nothing in the album feels like it extends out too long or is filler or doesn't need to be there. It's pretty feature heavy. You have some collaborations in the background in songs here or there, but the big ones you have Here We Go Again with Tyler the Creator and I Heard You're Married with Lil Wayne. I will say,
and then also Phantom Regret has Jim Carrey, which is the randomest one.
I think Jim Carrey has like different vocal bits here or there as well, and then Phantom Regret sort of like the full thing at the end. And I'll let you kind of get into some of your thoughts here because I've kind of just gone all over the place with this album review so far. But I'd say to begin with, as I start to chisel away at like my criticisms here, maybe nitpicks because this is a pretty good record. I'd say the features felt a little phoned in. Like, I've seen Tyler the Creator do better features, Lil Wayne do better features, etc.
I do not like the features at all. Not really. I don't think they needed to be here on the record. It kind of detracted from a little bit, like Tyler the Creator's part and Lil Wayne's part. If he didn't have those parts, because they honestly didn't even need to be in those tracks, this record would have been like really, really fucking good. It would have been phenomenal in a way because this thing that impresses me with Government Name ABEL, every record he's done since the inception of The Weeknd it's always trying to like prove himself in a way from all the artists he's been inspired by, from all of the like pop records he's been inspired by, all of this, and he's trying to like one up himself. He's trying to constantly improve and improve. And, the accumulation of that was After Hours in 2020, which is insane. That was already 2 years ago, just about 2 years ago. It came out March of 2020, which is insane. But even with Dawn FM, he even tries to one up himself in the way that is, because every album is different. Every album does not go together, really. Like if you put like The Hills to Gasoline, those are two very different songs, of very different styles of production, styles of his vocal demeanor, the way he presents the tracks, his lyricism. Everything is constantly evolving. And as a major pop star, it's honestly impressive because you can go down the easy route of like, it's whatever, I'll phone it in, do whatever. Let me call up Future, do some things. Let me call up Drake, do some things, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, here you go, here's Donda. You could do something like that, but with him, he's constantly evolving and trying to do something different, which I fucking love. And with Dawn FM, he pivots off of the whole After Hours conceptual album, makes another concept album that is completely different than After Hours. So in that regard, I absolutely love it. Like the opening track, I'll be Dawn FM, just a little interlude thing of a minute and a half, and it sets up like okay, this is going to be a concept record. Let's kind of dive in, see what happens. And Gasoline is such an experimental, weird track. I love it. It like threw me off when I listened to it. Absolutely love the beat. You could definitely hear like the inspiration from Daft Punk, but I give him a pass on having been inspired by Daft Punk because he has worked with their robots. He has worked with Iman and Toma on Starboy. He has worked with them on other projects too. So he has that aspect. And I haven't looked at the producer credits. I don't know if Toma helped. He possibly could have helped on some of the production of this album. I do not know off the top of my head.
That being said,
would not surprise me.
On that note, and I almost did forget that Daft Punk did bless the Weeknd with Starboy, and I Feel It Coming on Starboy, the last record, which I thought was phenomenal.
The certified jizz song, as I like to call it.
And then they certainly, just walking right past that one, and we just certainly helped solidify the Weeknd for me as like a pop legend. Like,
yeah,
I am very quick to be critical of anything popular. It's just kind of like my personality. But I understand why The Weeknd fills stadiums. I understood that kind of by Beauty Behind the Madness, even though I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, feel my face, whatever. But Starboy was like, okay, damn, he's got it. That to me felt kind of like a concept album in itself. And then
it is.
We reviewed My Dear Melancholy. I remember it was like it
was really lackluster.
It was a drop thing, whatever. But that's why we have drops. Artists can do that. They can get that out of their systems. They can work on the gold. And yeah, having Dawn FM come after that is really phenomenal. The note I wanted to have in the beginning is that with the dissolution of Daft Punk, which also happened only last year, officially last year, we got a bunch of artists who we kind of did a review of in our Daft Punk bonus episode, which folks can check out, especially if you're members. We were able to look at Parcels, for example, which they did a song with Daft Punk. And then they went on to release another album that definitely wasn't produced by anyone from Daft Punk, but it was very Daft Punk inspired. It was Daft Punk motivated, right? And so I think it's definitely possible for artists to, once having that sort of Daft Punk blessing, if you will, to then go on and work with their producers to iterate off of that. I think partially to the grace of Daft Punk, partially to where I think most producers need to challenge themselves more, is that what you get are certain songs where you're like, oh, I hear a little bit of, Weight of Love in this, or, oh, I hear a little bit of Motherboard in that. I'm starting to like go back and forth between Daft Punk songs and songs on Dawn FM and go, oh, these are, not covers or like renditions, but we're starting to see where the inspiration was pulled a lot from, and that's great. But remember, Daft Punk pulled their inspiration from the 70s, so there's more.
So you have producer credits from Swedish House Mafia and Calvin Harris on multiple songs, so now it makes sense in the way you get that like electronic inspired, sometimes a funk, because Swedish House Mafia dive into that a little bit. So does Calvin Harris and a couple others. So you can kind of get the influences and stuff of some of these tracks. It's just interesting that the parallels are with Ram. But
yeah, then you get songs like Best Friends, though, which get experimental, like you were saying. They sound truly like, this doesn't sound like anything that would be on Ram per se, but it's a good evolution of this 70s, 80s bring back, throwback sort of thing that you're doing. I was generally impressed with, and I have been impressed for a while, the songs where ABEL, The Weeknd, is just himself on the track and doing 100%. His best to express those emotions, because he can hold his own on these tracks. We talk a lot about art.
He does not need features. He really doesn't need them. Like, going back to what I said, honestly, this would have been, to me, a perfect pop record if you didn't have Tyler, the Creator, and Lil Wayne on there. To me, they detracted from it just a little bit, just off-hinged the record to me, where they felt phoned in. They felt like it detracted from kind of the concept that he was doing from otherwise a fantastic record. That's honestly my only example. Here we go again with Tyler, the Creator. Tyler, the Creator comes in halfway through the track, and it throws it off. And then we go to Best Friends, and you hear Best Friends. I'm like, God damn, this is a good track. Like, the way the production is, everything, like, you can hear, like, it's hard in the track and everything, but it feels genuine. It doesn't feel like Weeknd's phoning it in or anything like that, but the features do. So it kind of detracts from that, and all the hard work that ABEL's putting into the record, they don't get that part. So they just didn't complement very well, which is a little disappointing. That's honestly my only big gripe to the record. The rest of it, to me, I've really, really like it. I love how it literally says, here we go, we're going to slow it down, and like the second half of the record is kind of slowed down compared to the top half, and it feels like you're playing a radio station.
Yeah.
So I really like the concept of it.
That was very intentional. And to your point, I feel like Don't Break My Heart and Less Than Zero were meant to be back to back with each other as songs, but then you had I Heard You're Married with Lil Wayne in the middle, and it's just like
it threw it off.
I'm having to reevaluate myself in these conversations, because again, Lil Wayne, you have been in the game for a minute. Like, he was a kid when I was an even younger kid, And so I mean, you've gotten to watch him age and grow and whatever, but dude, like you either take the Snoop Dogg route and like chill your beats a little bit and just become a
and
brand.
commentate on random hockey games.
Yeah, which he should definitely go back to. By the way, I think we might have found Snoop's niche if we get him back on hockey games.
Dude, please. It's so funny.
But you when you bring Lil Wayne on this track, like I don't know, it just sounds out of place. It sounds like not modern. Like ABEL sounds, even though the Weeknd's looking like the weekday on this album cover, ABEL is the one who sounds fresher. He's the one who sounds more youthful on this track. It's weird Lil Wayne just bring him down like that.
Yep, exactly.
Of course, not to detract from Lil Wayne's like obvious like can't be messed with historic discography. I'm just saying right now there's a time as an artist when you got to realize you got to hang up the towel, let the younger kids do it. Like Lil Wayne, you're no longer Lil. You are far beyond Lil anymore. But
he outlasted Wayne now.
He outlasted Bow Wow though. So
that's props.
Where I'm totally kidding, but we should do an Audioface bonus episode on Lil Romeo. The one from like Mike.
Yeah. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Arbitrary scale this week. We do arbitrary scales every week on Audioface, including the members episodes, because this is the podcast this is. This week it's mask types because
I got COVID.
And pretty much like No, there's a bunch of stuff going around, like even the multi-layered cloth masks that were supposed to be like really helpful during COVID were like, oh no, these are bad. Now you have to get the N95 masks that are being price gouged everywhere and basically aren't in stock because capitalism always produces the best results, especially during times of crisis.
Thankfully, I have 1,000 of them, so there's that.
Thank God. This, as far as types of masks though, I'm gonna give this one that this is gonna be the Pyro's gas mask. Like, this is absolute overkill for COVID, but, like, shit's not getting in. This is that Tesla bioweapon defense mode where, like, your 99, like, 0.97% of particulates are, like, just, like, completely clear. And, yeah, this is a 99.9% killing of all germs. And, like, this is a very near perfect album. I think that the features mess it up. And a lot of times the features do improve an album or help an artist sing, but the Weeknd's incredible. Doesn't need it.
Not need it.
Or he needs to get features that I'm not saying Tyler the Creator isn't on the Weeknd's level. I don't think it's great to like compare the two. The Weeknd doesn't rap.
They don't complement each other well. That's it.
Or they don't. Maybe the Weeknd would complement on a Tyler song. I could totally see that. But fitting Tyler, and maybe I think this is a thing that Tyler needs to do growth as well. I haven't liked many of his features lately. I think Tyler needs to learn to adapt his avant-garde style that has worked well for him and get it to work for other songs.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree. This is oxygen mask you put on while you're taking out your experimental Celine aircraft for an altitude test. So you're like 29,000 feet, like breaking up your record of a aircraft. So you have to literally wear an oxygen mask. So the only thing that's in there is oxygen, baby. Nothing's getting in, nothing's getting out. Because if not, you're gonna die in that plane.
You definitely want masks on that plane. Anyways.
Yes.